Alright, so I've got this planter. It's 2 foot by 8 foot, and I've been asked about building one. So I didn't record the whole process, but I'm going to take a few measurements. It's 8 feet wide, 2 feet across, or 2 feet deep. And then I'm going to go to the lumberyard, buy all the wood, and we'll be putting one of these together today. It won't be stained yet, but we'll get it together. Alright, we've got our lumber. We've got 20 2x4s, 8 feet long, and 3 2x6, 10 feet long. So we'll start by cutting what we need for the frame and go from there. Alright, we're going to go over the tools I needed for this real quick. So you need a drill with a Phillips head to put the screws in, a drill with a 1/8 drill bit to drill the pilot holes, 3-inch screws, tape measure, speed square, staple gun and staples for the felt, that's your weed barrier, and then a skill saw to actually cut the lumber. Alright, so first thing we need to do, because we're going to use these, this is 8 feet this way, but I want it to be 2 feet this way when I build it. So I need to account for the width of these two, which is 3 inches. Then I mark my 2 feet, which is 24 inches. And if I back off 3 inches, that means I'm cutting these at 21. So I need 8 pieces cut at 21 inches. So to make this accurate, mark your 21 inches. And that's where I'll cut the first one. Once I have this one cut, I'll use this one as a template to make all of the others. There's your next line. So 8 of these. Alright, once you've got your pieces cut at 21, you're going to butt them up at the exact ends of a couple of the 2x4s to make an 8 foot by 2 foot frame. And you're going to do this 4 times. So butt them up, screw them together. What I normally do is I lay them like this to make sure they're square and even before I drill my hole. We're going to do 2. About an inch out from each side. And run our screws in. Just repeat for the other side. This doesn't have to be perfect. This is as close as you can get it. There will be 2x4s on the outside holding it all together. the other side and do it 4 more times. Driving these in just a pinch past flush. That way hopefully no water can get in here. And rot the screws from the inside. Also good to note, if you have any wood that doesn't look great, make sure that's on the inside. Alright, once you've got your 4 frames put together, you stack them on top of each other, make them as square as possible, and this is where I get to see the first snafu in this process. So the one at my house I built using 2x6 and 2x8 or 2x8 and 2x10, and this one I've got 2x4 and 2x6, so it's not near as tall as I kind of wanted it. So I'm going to get with the person I'm building it for and ask if they want another another one of the frames just to bring it up a little bit more. Alright, for clarity, the one at my house is either 24 or 30 inches high, and I think it's 30 inches high. This one is 15. It'll be 16 inches when I put the top cap on. Okay, so our solution to this is adding 2 more. So now we are 2, 4, 6 tall, and we're not putting any runs down the middle for the raised bed. She wants to use this strictly for vegetables, and she wants the extra depth. So that freed up the wood to allow us to bring it a little taller. And now we are at 22. So we'll be at 23, so not quite too, well, right around 2 feet tall once I put the cap on. Okay, so for the cap, this is 2x6, and it's all real easy rough. So need a 45-degree angle. So I'm just going to bring it to the edge because I don't want it to be like half-assed. So this is here, and then once we get this line cut, what we'll do is we'll mark it where the joint needs to meet, and then we will make a 45 going that way off of that point, 8 feet down. We'll do that, and then we'll have our top, or at least half of our top. Then we do this twice, and then I'll show you how to do the short one later. Get this lined up. Move it back a little bit so it doesn't. First one. Alright, so we've got it in its home, or closest to its home where it's going to sit. I think they're going to move it closer to the house. But what we need to do now is measure our supports that tie everything together. So it should be bottom of the inside, top here, is 21 inches. You don't want to measure this piece because they actually fit up underneath it. So there will be a cap here and here, all the way around, so all 4, and then 2 in the middle to bind it and hold it all together. So it'll be very structurally sound. And then, like I said before, on mine, I actually have 2x4s lining the inside about this height. So this is dirt. It's probably about this height. So half of it's dirt, and the other half is hollow. And then I've got the weed barrier and gravel, and then the dirt. So that way I still get good drainage if it rains, and it just doesn't pool up inside. So all that's left is to cut our supports 21 inches. Should be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of them. So 3 2x4s. And then we will probably roll out a weed barrier and staple it to the inside, and then it's on to staining. And I don't know what color they're staining it. That's going to be on them. Alright, let's match these up. I'm going to make flush here. And drill your pilot holes. Bucket.
Finish getting the rest of that and then haul it all off. All of it.
We screw these in. And these will tighten up the corners. And we'll go from there. Alright, outer ones in. You always want to do the outside ones first, so it'll pull these boards to line them up nice and neat. And then you go this one just to cover those end caps. Alright, box is in its final resting place. All of the end caps and the center pieces that pull all of it together are done. So the only thing that's left, since we're not doing an inside like raised bed, we went ahead and tilled the bottom, and then we're going to put this weed barrier down and staple it along the bottom, and then we're done. Weed barrier is in, stapled down, made it look as nice and neat as we could. So this is the finished product. All that's left is them to stain it whatever color they want and to add the dirt. I'm gonna say this is another successful project. We're done.